Resident Evil is a series that I've been morbidly curious about for a while. I know bits and bobs about it and a good amount of the characters, but I've never actually played a Resident Evil game with the exception of a demo of Revelations on the 3DS, I think. I remember there was a woman in a diving suit and a cruise ship, and it was kind of cool. Anyway, the primary reason I haven't played any of the games is I'm a big baby when it comes to horror games. Horror movies don't faze me for the most part, but games manage to get under my skin for some reason. So, this is going to be a mixture of my scripted thoughts and my initial impressions when playing this for the first time. I'm starting with the remake of the original, made as a GameCube exclusive, but it's now ported to most modern platforms. At the start, you can choose between two characters, Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. I believe Jill is classed as the easier of the two, although there is an independent difficulty setting. I went with Jill on the medium difficulty. Jill has more inventory spaces and lockpicks, as she is the master of unlocking, I've heard, whereas Chris has more health and has a lighter. The group are ambushed by wolves and take refuge in this totally normal looking mansion in the middle of nowhere, and the group are soon split up, and it's Jill, Barry, and Wesker on their own. And after a few minutes of exploring the mansion, we come across our very first zombie in this iconic cutscene. Or a window.
No, not yet, they don't.
Oh, it's this cutscene.
Yeah.
This is very iconic cutscene.
You're just giving him a kiss.
I think that's a bit more than a kiss.
I love this, like, the animation on this. It's like, proper, like, eerie.
Come on then. Come on then. Is it not gonna follow? Ah! Oh!
You waited too long?
Get off! No means no. Oh, he's,
no, he's not dead.
How do I shoot? I don't think I can shoot.
Square.
I'm pressing square but nothing's happening.
Try excellent. I actually just can't remember how though.
None of the face buttons are working.
Wait, what
oh, it's R2.
Oh, so that was, I don't remember that being the case when that.
Ah!
Joe, I can't believe you died on the first encounter.
I didn't die.
He's still alive, Joe.
Oh my god, fucking die already.
Joe.
There we go.
Joe, I reckon the Cuphead tutorial guy would have done better than you.
What the fuck? That's so mean. Now, although the very first zombie's health is buff to give it a more intimidating appearance, these fellas are still pretty durable. Unless you get a good headshot, which is random chance, it takes I'd say around 4 to 5 shots to take them down, and ammo, whilst findable, is quite scarce, giving a constant battle of deciding to use resources or leave them be and risk them being a problem later on. It's pretty quick and the gameplay loop presents itself. Inspect items to find keys, use these keys to unlock previously inaccessible doors to find more items to unlock more of the mansion. Even previously slain zombies can present an issue though, as unless you know to either burn their bodies beforehand or blow their heads off, they will become beings called Crimson Heads at some point, more durable zombies that move faster and hit harder.
Yeah. That one might be
Ah! I knew I should have kept the lighter with me. I knew I should have.
I mean, it wouldn't have done much there, would it? You were still gonna fucking get up.
They genuinely put the stress in me whenever they pop up. This game does give you ways to keep your health up too, of course. There's first aid sprays and herbs. Green herbs will heal you slightly, but you can increase their effectiveness by combining them with another green herb or a red herb, which is what exclusively red ones are used for. And later you do get blue ones to help with poison, but they don't come up for a while. Thankfully, zombies can't access different rooms most of the time. They're typically tied to the areas they appear in. But one place they can never be in, as far as I know, are the safe zones, indicated by this amazing music piece. Very much gives off the vibe that although there's unknown dangers around every corner, you can count on these areas for safety and protection. They also contain item boxes where you can put extra goodies in for storage, and typewriters. These can show up outside of safe zones, but it's rare. It is best to save your ink ribbons for safe zones, and only use them here to save on storage. Something that I wasn't really aware of before playing for the first time, Resident Evil is quite a puzzle-heavy game. Its main loop is solving the puzzles to gain an item, to either combine or replace with another item. And for someone who's chronically silly like me, this can get a bit head-spinning from time to time. But to mix things up, you do get mini-bosses along with the regular enemies.
He does.
I did it! Yippee!
Oh, look at that plant's got the Pfizer vaccine. Look at how much it's shaking.
Pfizer vaccine!
I've got him full of so much autism.
you actually vaxxed that plant.
I did get one with this big plant monster, and you have to use chemicals in an outside section I forgot about to add into the water to kill it to get another death mask, which you need 4 of to open up a tomb in the gardens. And like I alluded to earlier, this gameplay session was where I found out that zombies can in fact move to different rooms for the first time, so that gave me quite the surprise.
Fucking hell!
And as part of having to collect all of the death masks, you have to have this boss fight against this giant snake. Now, a little thing about me, I can't remember if I've mentioned it on the channel or not, I absolutely hate snakes. I am genuinely terrified of them. But luckily this guy who was poisoned earlier, who we managed to revive, came in clutch and did most of the fight for me.
Oh,
Jesus
that
Christ,
thing up
the
there
one-
looks mighty suspicious.
Ooh.
Oh, it's minging!
What that tongue do
It's
though?
fucking vile. This. Not Jill. That's.
No, Jill is definitely not vile.
That's more than a little guy. I'm gonna let this guy go for me. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, is it the guy who
Yeah,
saved?
it's the guy who was poisoned before and I got the medicine for him.
And after one more puzzle involving changing the colour of smaller portraits to match the accessories of a woman on a big glass window, we get all the masks, which causes the coffin to slam down into the ground, triggering a fight with this faster moving monster. He's kind of like a Crimson Head, but I think he has more claw-based attacks.
So yeah, the big tomb. What's in the big tomb? Come on. Coffin even. Oh. Is there anything? Oh, there's a big old zombie in there. Oh dear.
The zombies.
Oh dear. Well, let's have some herbs. Come on, dude. Ah! Oh, I don't like that this guy runs. Okay. I'm definitely setting you on fire. Oh.
Oh jeez, I'll set you on fire, puppy.
Oh!
Oh fuck!
Ah! Go away!
Guns, eat on
You shouldn't be running around after women like this.
Right.
I love chasing women, it's my favourite thing to do.
Once I beat him, we get access to more of the garden area. We can exchange the wind crest for a revolver after another small puzzle, and find this hut belonging to one Lisa Trevor, someone who we'll learn more about later on in the story. She was one of the few things I knew about going into the game, and she is truly horrifying. After hearing a thud, she instantly knocks you out. Jill does soon come to, and after a brief encounter with her, you do get a chance to escape.
Oh no. Go away. Go away. Go away. I'm leaving.
It's after this that I came across a new section called The Residence, where we find Barry talking to someone, but It's not clear who, since when Jill goes into the room, there's nobody there aside from him, and he denies having spoken to anybody.
How to
Starting to
do
take
it.
its toll.
Aww.
Talking to myself is becoming a bad
You saved me
habit.
from becoming a Jill sandwich.
Talking to yourself? You alright?
We had so much together, Barry.
Damn. Imagine
I'm worried,
hopping on
alright.
Barry's dick though.
But I'm alright.
He
Yeah,
buried my bullet.
Barry Meat
Yeah,
Riders be like,
baby!
Barry Meat Riders be like,
Yeah, I'll go outside.
And for some reason here, there's an underground lab that's underwater and has fucking guard sharks. This is some Dr. Evil type shit. The only thing they're missing is the frickin' laser beams attached to their heads. In the residence, we also come across the blue herbs for the first time. These are specifically to deal with poison, since there's a lot more things in the residence that can cause it, such as spiders and more snakes. Oh, that's great. That's great. Lord, give me strength. But anyway, the sharks can't give you poison, and they're the main situation going on right now. You need to rush to the door on the other side and use the control room key gained earlier, and after a slightly convoluted set of instructions, the water should drain, making the sharks now a non-issue. And I know it's because it's to add pressure, to make this point in the game more exciting, but I'm thinking realistically, if you had to do all these instructions when you had, like, not even a minute before the water pressure just broke the glass and the sharks came in and killed you, how would they help themselves if there was an actual emergency, whatever the scientists are doing with them? It's mad. The big shark will still be alive, but pushing an electric device into the water will fry the big fish and give us the gallery key that we need. There's a gap in the wall in the main hall of the residence after you take the map, and to fix the insects coming out and trying to kill you, you have to get the insectide spray and go into the room that we've just found, and go into the corner and use it there where the big wasp nest is located. You're then required to mix some chemicals together to create something called V-Jolt. I was confused why the room in the Aqua Ring had these plant roots, since it didn't hurt you, but the reason why became clear quickly.
Slip on that lake.
I'll give him a chance.
All we're saying is give Slip a chance, Jack. Hey, kill the plan. Kill the big plan.
As far as I know, I think the fight with this thing, called Plant 42, is unwinnable as Jill.
Mine fucking squee.
Squee.
What about Squench?
Squelching. Lois has me positively
Oh.
squelching with delight.
What was Jelkin again that you keep saying to them?
Oh,
Jelkin's like
it's where
when
you stretch out your cock.
Yeah.
What is it?
You like
You
you
stretch
like
out your
poke-
cock and try and make
Pussy.
it bigger.
Yeah.
You shit out your cock?
No, you stretch.
stretch.
your cock.
Oh, okay. I feel
Try
like
and,
some wires got crossed there.
permanently make it longer.
Oh, that sounds crazy.
the
Who would do
hell
that?
is
It's
this
crazy
thing?
and it doesn't work, but people think it does.
Jill!
It doesn't
You
work.
see, that sounds
What do you mean it
crazy.
doesn't
Who would
work?
do that?
Yeah.
But if you use the V-Jolt on the roots below, you cause it to rot. Going back into the boss room then causes it to go hentai mode and grab Jill, but Barry comes in clutch once again. He decides to stay back and we bump into Wesker again, who alludes to Barry being a traitor. Circle back into the mansion and it's not just zombies I have to contend with. There's lizard people now, of all things, which I was not expecting at all from this game.
Oh
Delvin.
shit. Oh!
Whoa, what the fuck is
A
that?
little lizard man. I do not like you.
What the fuck is that?
Bizarre.
Get me off, you green
Let me
cunt!
gaff, you green cunt. Yeah, I'm just walking away from him.
He's
Okay,
he's-
wait.
Got no time for that, I'm an independent woman. Ah!
I was prepared for zombies and crimson heads with the occasional genetic freak, but lizard people was not on my Resident Evil bingo card. But if I take into account the giant snakes and spiders, then I don't know, I guess it could be expected. I get higher up and unfortunately find that fucking snake again. And there's no way around it, I have to fight it properly. Luckily, it's easy to have it wrap around some bookshelves and shoot at, but it doesn't change the fact that it's absolutely fucking repulsive. With no way to progress through the doors here, I head back to see what doors work with the newly gained helmet key. At this point in the story, I think the goal is to get to the basement. I ended up doing like a full lap of the mansion because I stopped playing for a little while and just completely forgot what I was doing. Anyways, I solved this puzzle on the second floor with closing doors to get round the back to a hidey hole you can jump down. This brings us on to the tunnels. This section to me is pretty notably light on enemies. Not that I'm complaining, but sometimes, especially in this area, but in the game as a whole, I do find it a little bit tricky to work out what is interactable or not due to the lighting. You soon get a boss fight with a big spider, and honestly, it's not a big deal at all. It takes about maybe 4 or 5 shots from a grenade launcher before it keels over.
Oh, big spider. Big spider. Big spider.
No, I called you. You know, like ugly. I
Oh,
When are we all watching Xavier Renegade
fucking
Angel
hell.
together?
I don't like the way he pins Jill down like that.
Oh, you get some big spider.
Yeah. Did I kill him?
Holy shit.
Haha.
Damn, that has to be shit.
I don't like the way it grabs Jill though. Mate, take some classes, you can't be doing that. Also, I'm not a huge fan of having to use the knife to cut the webs away. Yes, it absolutely makes sense in context, but to my knowledge there's nothing like this regarding attacking points in the environment with any weapon before or since to progress, so it stands out to me. After a little puzzle which I actually found a lot of fun, it involves moving this statue to its place sided with another. We get what we need to make the correct key to operate the lift and continue on.
A noise I heard brought me down here, but
It's Barry!
didn't expect
There
No,
should be
I
like
mean-
a
I mean, like-
sitcom like crowd like clapping whenever Barry comes on.
I mean, like, put it where they make it.
One way to
I haven't
find
seen
out.
Lisa Trevor in ages, where is she? Oh my god, is she at the bottom? That would make sense actually.
You might be seeing her soon.
I thought they said that she was running around the mansion or something before.
sound?
Oh, that's her. That's gotta be her.
Person. Keep root in case something
You're the one with
happens.
this big fat
Okay.
gun, Barry. Why don't you go check it out?
Harry! I mean,
That's what I'd be saying.
it's almost as if he's a traitor.
What? What the hell?
Now this area is what I can only describe as Lisa Trevor's gaff. That bitch do be scary, but she does have a nice little place going on, minus the snake water. You need 2 of what's called the metal objects to progress. We used one to get into the garden/residence area, but it turns out I missed one in the study because I forgot to turn the lamp on in the room, and I missed part of a medal I needed when you jump underground, so that was annoying that I had to go all the way back, but I only had myself to blame. You do get a boss fight with Lisa Trevor, and if you trust War Barry, he'll distract her while you push pillars off the edge, which will cause her to jump down, rambling about her mum. She's a very tragic character, but I'll discuss more in depth about her lore-wise when I go on to Chris's playthrough. We get down into the underground lab. Yes, there's another underground lab here, and we learn more about the zombies and how they're created, as well as the other experiments like the sharks, which are called Project Neptune, I believe, and chimeras, which are these fly things, these fly people.
Wesker.
Wesker!
Thank you, Barry.
Well, what do you know?
Oh, don't blame Barry for everything. I hear that his better half and 2 lovely daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
And surprise, surprise, we learn that Wesker is the main naughty man behind it all. This is also one of the few things that I knew about Resident Evil as a series, that Wesker's a bad dude, he's bad news, and he has sunglasses. I don't know what his plan here is though, because he immediately gets himself killed with this thing, the Tyrant. We make quick work of his little pet project.
No, Barry! You viral cultured freak!
Oh! That was easy. Thank you.
And Jill and Barry not being the traitor, he was just having his family threatened by Wesker, free Chris before they make their escape. Just as they all thought they were home free, the Tyrant comes back for another round.
You made it!
But with the combination of Chris, Barry, the stockpile of weapons I've got, and a rocket launcher, the Tyrant and the mansion are blown to bits.
Oh my goodness.
Ending Resident Evil. Jill's story specifically, because Chris has a scenario all of his own. Chris's story plays out largely the same, but both the gameplay and the narrative do just enough to make Chris's romp through the mansion feel his own. He starts off with a bit less item slots, 6 compared to Jill's 8, but he has the lighter permanently equipped without taking up a slot, whereas she gets the lockpicks. And he starts off with the survival knife, which I never used and stuck to guns. Plus, I think he has a bit more health. I'm unsure if that's correct or kind of a placebo since I'm more aware of what's to come in the game, so I got hit a lot less than when I played as Jill. Instead of Barry, the main companion here is Rebecca, a medical specialist I believe. She'll even heal you up in some safe rooms, which saves item uses. I'm very glad that exploring the mansion just has that little bit of difference though. It really feels like it has a good balance of feeling familiar, but doing enough to mix things up as well. But not to the point that you feel out of place or it's obtuse for the sake of it. Well, more than the puzzles already were, some of them are a little bit too obtuse for their own good in my opinion. The game actually managed to consistently surprise me with how it mixed up the events. Richard, the guy we saved from the snake venom a while back, ends up getting eaten by the sharks, whereas he died to the aforementioned snake in Jill's story. We lower the water in the same way, but I just wanted to note it here that I left it way too close and I really thought that I was a goner here, that this section just stresses me out for some reason. Things proceed the same way up until we fight the plant monster, but instead of Barry coming in clutch and saving us, we end up on our own this time. I found it a bit tricky to tell if my shots were doing much against it, but the plant does eventually break apart, you just need to stick at it. Rebecca says she'll work out the chemistry V-jolt thing, which I prefer since my brain don't work so good. But apparently you can play as her during this, but only if you didn't save Richard originally. Otherwise, she just does this off screen, like shown here. So it's back to have a little chat with Wesker, and then go into the mansion to open it up some more helmet room key puzzles, and then a trip down the hole again. Oh, and the lizard people, can't forget them. I really didn't expect it, but Rebecca's coming out as a standout character for me. Something about her is just very endearing and likeable. She's clearly much more out of her depth than the other characters, but she sticks around, tries her best not to panic and make herself a detriment to the group, and does what she can in the background, even though she's in a situation where it would be more than understandable to crack under the pressure, but she doesn't, and I have big respect for that. I know there's a game where she's the main protagonist in Resident Evil 0, but I think that's a title that I'll cover another time down the road. I alluded to it a couple of times earlier, but I think it's the best time to cover Lisa Trevor's tragic backstory. Her family were commissioned to build the very same Spencer mansion that we explore in-game. After the project was completed, the Trevor family was invited to stay as guests. The father, George, originally couldn't attend, so Lisa and her mother, Jessica, decided to stay until he arrived. This was a trap, however, and the family was subjected to horrific experiments. Throughout it all, poor Lisa longed to see her mother, to the point a mansion employee had to pretend to be Jessica Trevor, which didn't work for long, resulting in her cutting the woman's face under the impression that she had stolen her mother's face and Lisa had to return it. She eventually found the slab her mother's body was kept in, the thing we push over in a boss fight, but she was unable to open it. I thought that her father was the Crimson Head that we fight after doing all the death masks, but I couldn't find confirmation on this, so I'm not sure where her father was in the picture, but I assume he was killed off screen after he arrived. She began to obsess over skinning people, women in particular, and collecting their faces, to the point where she was too dangerous to be researched and was ordered to be executed, but due to her regenerative abilities, she remained alive up to the events of the game. I like the story of the game in general, but the addition of Lisa Trevor in this remake stood out to me in particular as especially tragic and well written. I really feel for the character, because in the end she's just a poor girl that wanted to see her family again. Gameplay wise, she's somewhat of a take of the pursuer type enemies in the series seems to be so fond of, akin to Mr. X in Resident Evil 2, Nemesis in 3, and Big Mommy Milky Awooga Awooga in Village. Something else I wasn't expecting considering how the end and future games turn out, Wesker being the one to help Chris out against the Lisa Trevor boss fight. He seems to have a bit of a soft spot for Chris in general despite being, you know, out to kill everyone, Chris included. Have we got a bit of a one-sided romance blossoming in the Spencer Labs? Is Wesker out to smack Chris with the yaoi paddle? Perhaps. I found it kind of amusing that the pair end up with like two of the opposite sex with them for the end of the game. Jill has a fun little man gang and Chris and Barry, and Chris has his girl boss squad with Jill and Rebecca. I don't know, I just found it a bit amusing. I think I ended up enjoying this playthrough a bit more than Jill's, but I'm positive it's because I had a much better idea of what to expect going through the game for a second time. I didn't get stuck nearly as much, and I'm sure if I played the other way around, I've enjoyed going through the mansion again as Jill more. I do like Jill more as a character, to be fair, and I think her narrative is told a little bit better, but Rebecca's probably my favourite character, with Barry in a close second. I accidentally got Rebecca killed by the Tyrant and felt really bad about it, so I loaded up the save and went through the last bit at the end again just to get the true ending with them all making it out of the mansion okay. After finishing as both characters, I truly understand how the gameplay loop gets so addicting. It really does make you want to dive right back in and beat the game again with faster times and with self-imposed challenges, and I rarely feel the need to go back into a game right after finishing it. Resident Evil really ended up gripping me and leaving a positive impact. I'll leave future playthroughs of this particular title for my own time, but I'm really eager to see how the series progresses, because this first entry left me wanting to experience much more. And that is the video and my thoughts on the original Resident Evil, well, the HD remake, and I want to know what your thoughts are on this particular title and the series in general. What did you think of this video? Kind of trying out a bit of a new style of a mixture of first impressions clips and more detailed thoughts. Please leave a comment, please like it, and if you want to see more Resident Evil videos and videos from me in general, please subscribe. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.